Hey guys, Lisa G here. Wanted to come on and do a video for you guys. So, I'm kind of new here. I want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Lisa. I am the art guru behind ArtEphemerie. And this is my first time doing a YouTube video, so I hope you guys will stick with me for a minute and just kind of let me get a feel for what I'm doing. I haven't done a video in a while, so this is, this is me trying to catch up a little bit. Anyway, a little bit about myself. I am a paper fanatic, as they call it, a papyrophiliac. I looked that up, and that's a hard word to say. Anyway, I love junk journaling, and I love to create new things out of nothing, out of stuff that, might eventually end up in the landfill. And I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I grew up here. I have lived here pretty much all my life, except for a short stint in South Carolina. And I just wanted to show you a little bit about my art process and how I come up with ideas and things. I'd like to give a shout out to Line Dot Arrow on Etsy and Pink Monarch Prints. These are a collaboration and kind of a marriage of both of their things. So Pink Monarch Prints was doing a video the other day, and she has offered up this lovely little free junk journal download that you can get if you go to her Facebook and follow her there. And the papers that I've used, some of them I've altered myself, but for the most part they're straight out of the kit that she has. And then I have a kit from Line Dot Arrow that we'll go through a little bit. I got that from Etsy. She has an Etsy shop, and I follow her on Instagram, so that's where I got hooked up with her. And I love her digital papers that she makes, and so, fella support and all that. I, bought one of her kits because I just loved it so much. It's called Memories of the Past. And then some of this other stuff is just bits and bobs that I've collected and made out of junk, what would otherwise be junk, which, is the true definition of junk journaling, right? So I haven't necessarily glued all these on yet because I wanted to show you kind of the little pockets that I made. And this is out of the Pink Monarch Prints paper, and she has a video about her collab number 4 if you want to go watch it. I'll link it down below when I do this video for you. But I went and I made these little pockets just like she did out of the papers and inked them up and, created, like glued them together and did all the stuff. And so I was just sitting here putting together ideas on, what I thought it should be decorated like. And I do, my art process is that, I kind of lay everything out the way I think I might want it. And, I play with it and see what I think and see how I like it. And, and then I go back and I glue everything together. So this is another little pocket. And so this one has a pocket back here, and then you have a pocket here and a pocket right here. And so I kind of left this as like a little tuck spot. You could put something in there if you want to, but really I designed it for this tuck spot. And, just a couple of little pieces that I had that I inked up. And we're going to play with that one and see, see how we like it and glue it all down. And we got another small one. And with this one, for this guy, I had made a bookmark out of one of the pieces of paper. And it still needs to be ironed a little bit. But I had a piece that I had cut off. And so what I did was I inked it separately, and I used it as a background for one of the others. And I'll, you know, take these things out and show you what I've made for them so that you can kind of get some inspiration and some ideas. See what you think and see what you like. Alright. We'll glue these together here in a minute. Let's do this one real quick. This one is got a couple of little pieces of ephemera that came from the kit, the free kit from Pink Monarch Prints. And I just cut them out, and I distressed them. I used the Tim Holtz Distress Spray, Distress Oxide, and, you know, my Distress Oxide inks, and, you know, just inked up all the edges and spritzed some of them. This one is like a multi-pocket. So I took one of the papers, I folded it in half, and then I lengthwise, and then this one I folded horizontally, or vertically, excuse me, so that it would be long and skinny. And then created another pocket by folding up the piece. Okay. I'll kind of show you what I did there. And then you've got a second pocket, little tuck spot over here. I haven't decided whether I'm going to glue this down yet or not. I'll do that when I get there. But anyway, you know, I've got a little postcard stuck down in there. A little piece of ephemera. Get it back in there. Okay, anyhow. So what I thought I would do is on this guy, like I had, you know, this one here. And, you know, you want your pockets a little tight so that everything doesn't fly out of it when you use it, you know. And I think I might go back and add a button to this one like I did over here. I've just been kind of playing with some ideas. And then there's also, here, let's do this. This goes here. And then there's another little pocket here where you can tuck a couple of things into the front, the very front, like so. And like I said, I'm going to put a little button there so that it kind of catches on the top of that lip, and, you know, you can pull it out. And if we wanted to, we could, you know, tuck this one right here and put something else inside of it here. But this one's, you know, like I said, it's called a multi-pocket. And I got these ideas from, you know, from watching other people and their process for the junk journaling. I love junk journaling. It's just so fun to figure out, you know, everything you can come up with, right? So for this one, I think I'm just going to be easy. And I made these out of lace. I bought lace at Joann's and coffee dyed it. And then I've used that to create these little rosettes, as I call them. And I took a couple buttons and stitched them to a piece of crocheted ribbon, and then, you know, the paper is sewn on there, and then you know, it's all sewn to the little rosette. And, you know, it takes about 20 or 30 minutes to make one of these, but, you know, they're really worth it, aren't they? So beautiful. Okay, so for my big one, this guy has a whole bunch of stuff, and like I said, I'm still in the process of building some of this stuff. I did glue some of this down last night just because I wanted to play with putting these pieces in here and seeing what I thought. So I took one of Pink Monarch Prints pieces of paper, and I took some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide sprays. I used that, and a little bit of this, and then I kind of sprayed some of this on, and then spritzed it with water, and, you know, you can get some really pretty papers like that. Here's some others that I've made out of the pieces that she had on there. And, you know, I just like the way that the Distress Oxides look on them. It just kind of gives it a certain antique-y feel, and, you know, that crinkly paper sound, and, you know, all that stuff that you love to hear. So this one has a multitude of pockets. And you got one in here. That's what I had used for the bookmark. And again, I'm still in the process of building this, so I'm going to figure out, you know, what I want on here and in here. And then this guy, oops, oh, these were over here. So I had these, and I'll probably add little tabs with the ribbon like this. Just because I liked the way that the little tabs looked on it. And, you know, I may decide later that this was plenty of tabs and I don't want to add any more. I glued that down just, you know, as an interest behind this guy, this lady, excuse me. Let's get her where you can see her face there. There we go. And then we had a couple of other little pockets up here. And I might add this one up here too. I think that's how I had it. So I made this with a really long piece of lace, and, you know, I just sewed it as I went around. I may do a video on that for you one day so you can see how that process works. But you can, you know, manipulate it and spread it out as much as you want to, and, you know, just really play with it and kind of, you know, tug it and move it around and see what looks good and shabby chic. So I put these were also on the Pink Monarch Prints freebie deal that I've printed out. And I had these, oops, I had these stickers from way back when that I found in a book of stickers that I had lost in my closet forever. Don't you love it when you find craft items that you forgot you had? So I may end up using this one for something different, and like maybe putting it on the front of a junk journal, because it's really kind of bulky, you know, to put in the junk journal. So I think it's going to need to go on the junk journal. And so I've been working on a couple of things. This is not going to be it, but just a couple of ideas that I've been working with. I need to decorate this one, but I made peacock papers for this journal. And, you know, it's made out of envelopes and that kind of thing. But this is the idea that I'm going to use to create this junk journal when it's done. Right now, I'm just kind of creating my stash, so to speak, for building this. These, let me show you these. Let's see. I had 5 of them picked out. Let's see. What was this one? This one. This one. This one. And this one. And so what I did was I just took a Google Doc, and, you know, I started putting words together and little phrases and stuff that I wanted to use in my art. And I love creating these little things. It's just so much fun because you know, you can just really just let go and play, you know, and it's kind of like going back and being in grade school and being able to, you know, make something that's going to make you happy, right? So I printed some of these off, and I did them in bold, and I just did them on white paper because I can vintage them up. And let's cut these, and I'll show them to you as we go along. And I just print these off and I cut them with my my paper cutter. Couldn't think of that term. All right, let's see. I got that one. And I just wanted to, I decided that I was going to do like a little collage of them. And build a sentiment. So the sentiment I'm going to do, and I haven't decided even yet where I'm going to put it yet, is make beautiful music, dance in the rain, believe in yourself, live your story, and be amazing today. And I just thought that was, you know, those really kind of, and when I was putting this whole thing together, I wasn't even thinking about, you know, how these words were going to work out together so perfectly. I mean, that was just dumb luck. But, you know, having these things to be able to play with and tear them up, this is truly what, you know, my grandmother called junk journaling. And it was taking little bits of nothing and turning it into something. And it truly is an art form that, you know, that everybody should try, because, you know, it's just so very soothing, and it's a great way to upcycle and save things from the environment, right? So while we're gluing these down, I would like to tell you guys, and I use a combination of glue stick, just Elmer's glue stick, and I forgot to get out my glue over here. I've got a couple of different glues that I use. I like the Eileen's tacky glue, and it, you know, you can get it at the Dollar Tree. It's $1 for a bottle. And I like to use this E6000 Extreme Tack for some things. It just, you know, like especially for gluing down buttons and things like that, it really works nice. We're hoping to be able to load content a couple of times a week. That's the goal anyway for right now. I'll turn this upside down for a minute so we can get the glue down there. And I want to ink these up real fast. And then I've got to figure out where I want to put them too. And so I just ink the edges on these, and after I get done, I lay them down on another, you know, like another piece of paper that I'm going to use, and just kind of darken them up a little bit. Make them look old and vintagey. And then you can go back over them again and, you know, hit them another lick on the ends. And just really make them stand out and be bold. I hope I'm staying in focus. This is, you know, or at least staying in frame. This is the first time I've done a YouTube video like this, and so I'm, you know, I'm a noob. I'll be the first to admit it. And it doesn't matter if you know, bend them a little bit, because, you know, the whole point is to make them look old. So if it gets bent, oh well. I like, you know, I like making them look vintagey and antique, and, you know, like they've been laying around in a drawer for 100 years. You know, that's half the fun of doing this kind of art is, you know, just, you can feel free to play, you know, just whatever you come up with is going to be great. And, you know, I just started doing this recently, and I've really taken to it, and, you know, it's just a lot of fun, and it's very relaxing. I can sit and, you know, just build, like, I call this a build your stash. That's really what this came from, was a build your stash challenge on Facebook that I saw, and this lady, the Pink Monarch Prince lady, posted a YouTube that she had done. It's called the collab number 4, I think, or collab video number 4, maybe, I don't know. But this is what inspired this whole thing, was, you know, to like build your stash up so that when you are ready to make your next junk journal, you have, you know, lots of little things to choose from, right? And so one of the things that I like to do, and I'll kind of, you know, show you things as we go along here. One of the things that I like to do is just pick, you know, like random things like index cards. You know, I take index cards and I tea dye them and, you know, make them look old and, you know, crinkly. And then I take, these are some big index cards, and, you know, a lot of times when you tea dye them, the lines will kind of come off a little bit and, you know, leave you just, you know, very, very faint lines. But these things, you know, are really fun to use as like backgrounds for pictures, and, you know, I mean, you could do that and ink the edges, and, you know, I'm going to tear around this and use this for another project. But there's doilies, you know, and these are like coffee and tea dyed. I took coffee and a little bit of teal blue food dye coloring and made this color with the coffee. That's just plain coffee. And there's a couple in here that are, you know, that are tea dyed. There's another coffee dyed one. And so I put these in, you know, in my printer, and I scan them so that I can use them over and over. Even though I'll use these in signatures, I still have the file, the scan file of them, so that I can reprint them if I wanted to. And just cut them out, you know, fussy cut them if I want. Anyway, that's, you know, that's another thing entirely. So let's go in here, and we're going to, let's start with this one. I just really like this one. And we'll pick some ephemera out here in a little bit to put in it. Let's do that. And I like this Elmer's glue because it's one of those purple disappearing glues. You can see where you put it on your stuff. And again, you know, these are just little bits and pieces of ephemera that I've collected up. Like these came from Shane. And, you know, some people are all been out of shape over the whole Shane thing. And, you know, I don't mean to offend anyone by using their products. But if I go to Walmart, I'm, you know, buying something that's made in China, so what's the difference, you know? I'll try to put that on there so it kind of gives it some dimension there. Might need to glue that one down with another type of glue, maybe. Okay, there we go. And then we'll come back and we'll let that dry a little bit, and we'll come back and put a tuck, some sort of tuck in there. All right, for this guy, I thought we might kind of angle that one and possibly put that there. Put this guy here, and then top the whole thing off with a butterfly. What do you think? Or we could do this one that way. Yeah, I kind of think I like that better. Okay, so let's just go ahead and again, this was the top of this piece over here. And I just took my ink and inked it up and made it look old and ruffly, and just had fun with it. Now, my book pages, there is a bookstore close by, and for books that, you know, people don't want, they throw them in this bin at the front, you know, I guess just so they don't have to take it back home again. And so, okay, and, you know, they'll rip the fronts off of them, or, you know, rip the books in half, or, you know, whatever it is they decide to do to make it unsellable so that, you know, other people can't use it. I take those, and, you know, I don't want them to end up in the landfill. So I take those and I bring them home and I tear them up, and I just, you know, rip all the pages out. I have boxes full of these, you know, and then I use them for something else. Let's see. I think I want that more there. And we might come back and add something else to this too. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Here my other half is home. I need to go down and say hello to him for a minute. And then we might have to take a break, and I'll come back and finish this up and do a part 2. I'll finish her up. Oops, real quick. Okay. We're just going to do the middle and the 2 edges of the wings on this one. And I'll do that, and that'll kind of give it a bump, like it's got a lift to it. There we go. And again, we'll come back and we'll add some more things, and we'll, tuck some things in. That one can definitely use something else there, I think. So, some other sort of little doomahitchy. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. I'm going to take a break, and I'll come back and do a part 2, and we'll finish this one up, okay? All right. So, let's pick up where we left off here. So, we've been putting these together, and for the most part, this one's all put together. This is all little ephemera and stuff like that. And then we're going to use this glue. Let's put a little bit here. Just parts where it might be touching. And little seams that we've left. Let's just push that down on there. Let it stick where it may. And let's use something here to, whoops, push it down a little bit for a second. Let's maybe add a little bit here. Add a little bit here. because it's going to dry clear. You're not going to be able to see these spots. Oops, I think we're upside down, aren't we? Gotta flip her around while it's still wet. Now let's do this. I'm a little sticky fingered right now. Alright, let's let that one dry for a little bit and we'll come back to it. Alright, on this one, everything is pretty much done. I had finished this last night, as a matter of fact, and made the little, I might, let's add some strings. And this is just an 1/8 inch punch. It's a little smaller than the standard. We're just going to eyeball these. And, you know, these are just little journaling spots. And one of the sheets that Pink Monarch Prints made is a background for those sheets where you don't want it to just be stark white, and she's already provided like a background that you can print onto the back of your cards if you want to. Alright, let's see. These are my favorite little let's see, where's my end? Yep, that's going to do that. I'll worry about that part later. Getting caught up in the you know what? I'm just gonna sorry, sometimes I get lost in what I'm doing and I don't talk, so there will be moments when that happens. I'm gonna have to split this real quick, so give me just a minute. There we go. For these, we can probably just do them without. Let's see. I'll catch you about right there. Might as well leave these uncapped, huh? Okay. Now you can, you know, get all fancy if you want and, you know, make tassels for these and all that jazz, but, you know, in the long run, that's what you want to do. You know, simple or super frou-frou, as my daughter calls it. Well, Lisa, sometimes I am blind as a bat. There we go. There's one. And if we decide to, we can shorten these up. But I love doing stuff that, you know, is just like little, I call them cluster collages, and, you know, or you just take a bunch of nothing and turn it into something really cute and pretty that'll, you know, spark people's imagination. And get my fingers to work now. Dang it. I know, hold hands and stay with the group, huh? I guess it's a good thing I get the option of editing these things as I'm going along. There's a lady that I watch sometimes that her name is My Inky Fingers. And every time I start doing this, I get to the point where I'm like, my inky fingers. Alright. So those are going to go there. Let's kind of stack them up a little better there. And let's add our little collage. So I want this one here. A glue stick out here. I'm not really digging that. I think what I might do instead, let's see if we can get these off without tearing it up too bad before they dry. I think what I might do instead, yeah. And, yeah. If we need to, we'll find something else to cover that up. Let's see. How about, yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Now let's try this again. Start from the bottom. Oh shoot, dang it. Well, I forgot to ink that a little bit before I put it down there. That's what happens. You get lost in what you're doing. We can come back and ink it a little bit. It's not gonna, we're not gonna let it hinder us. And this is all about looking messy and, you know, aged and old. That's what it's all about, right? Distressing, as they call it. Oh, still need something else. Let's see what we can find here. Oops, those are some pieces that I was working on for something else. Let's see, we could probably use this piece. Be sure and ink it. And let's crinkle it up a little bit. Shabby chic, they call this. Boho. But it's something that, you know, this has just become like the new craze, and I'm loving it. I love doing this stuff. It's, I mean, you just can't, you know, you can't beat it. All right. compare this for some interest. I love playing with all the little bits and pieces. Nah, not liking that. No, I think I'll just stick with this. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Sometimes it's hard to, you know, see everything before you actually lay it down too. But again, you know, the whole idea of this is just to create something that you're going to enjoy. Get these back in order so I make sure I put them down correctly. Scoot him over just a hair. There we go. Let's move him up just a little bit. Try to line up our gaps a little bit there. All right, I think I'm happy with that. And that's like a whole page. So we'll be able to put this, you know, tucked into a page on a journal. All right, this one. Here, let's put these back in. Might need to glue that down right there. So it just slides. I don't want it to get caught. Okay. And again, these little guys I just stapled on, and then I sewed the buttons through everything though. So, okay. All right, so let's do a recap here. This is what we've ended up with. We've got This will go directly into a page in a journal. I'll show you here. And, you know, that would be your background. You have all these little things to use as journaling spots and whatnots. That's the big one there. This one's like a little multi-pocket that has all kinds of little journaling spots in it as well. I've added some little extras to these after I got all my little pieces made for it. And this is our little multi-pocket as well. Several little things hidden in here, and we're going to do another video and I'll show you how I made these flowers. Each one is a little bit different, and this one I think I'm going to put on the front of the front cover. So, and then this one, it's got a little journal spot that pulls out. And this guy, another little journaling spot. And some extras I'm going to use elsewhere in the journal. So thank you guys for coming and visiting with me today. And if you would, please like this video and give it a thumbs up if you want to see more stuff like it. We'd be, you know, ever so grateful to have you as a subscriber. And if you would, if you really like, you know, doing junk journal stuff and little whatnot projects like that, ring that bell notification and you'll get a little thing every time we upload something. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye now.